It's time to answer that question. What's in your glass? Hey everyone, welcome to this edition of What's in Your Glass. You may have noticed already we aren't starting out like we usually do, where you might see a couple of us sitting here talking, chatting, doing whatever. And that's because we decided to change the format of this show slightly. Here's the thing, we'd love to hear back from you if you like this format, or if you'd prefer to just see people sitting and chatting about it. So here's what you can expect the rest of the video. We're actually going to have this broken up into a nosing segment, a tasting segment, and then a free-for-all segment in a way. After each of those segments, Ryan, Greg, or James, yes, we have 3 today, are going to have a chance to each ask one question about what they've either nosed, tasted, or had the combined experience of nosing and tasting. So we hope you like this. We're presenting it in a fun format. If it doesn't work, we'd love the feedback. If you absolutely love it, please give us the feedback as well. And if I didn't mention, you may hear me off to the side a little bit. I played director on this episode instead of being in front of the camera. And it's going to be really fun when I reveal to the guys that they're drinking. I'm not going to tell you. Sorry, you got to wait until the end. Come on. That'd be no fun. If I gave it away, you wouldn't watch the rest of the video. All right, we're on to the nosing.
So it's a very familiar fragrance to me, not just bourbon. I'm getting, I get a little bit of floral. And definitely the traditional caramel. But this, I definitely feel like I know this distillery just off the nose, and I know I'm going to be wrong. All right, so let me ask a question about off the nose. Is this a brand known, I would say, to casual bourbon drinkers? Is this a pretty well-known brand of bourbon?
I would say the answer to that question is that casual drinkers will not probably know this brand.
All right. Just based on first initial whiff, I'm going to say lower ABV. There we go. A little caramel in there. A little caramel, a little oak char. That's what I'm getting. Is this a lower ABV bourbon?
Define what you mean by lower ABV.
Is it below 100 proof?
No.
It's above 100 proof.
I get honey, almost like a graham cracker sort of thing, like a honey graham cracker thing. Maybe some herbal, like some black tea, perhaps. Oh, yeah, there's a little bit of herbal there. This is too straightforward. Is this a rye?
It is not a rye.
Okay, all right.
Now on to the tasting.
All right, so in terms of taste, I feel like this is a little bit higher in terms of alcohol. So we're well above the 886 that is on the lower end. Is this distiller located in downtown Louisville?
No.
You know, I would have sworn that was below 100 proof just based on the. I'm not getting much warmth at here at all. Nothing. It was very sweet. Like, if you had told me that you'd mixed something in with this, I would have believed you. So, is it cask finished? That's my question.
No.
Oh, it's pretty good. Lower proof. It's sweet, which I like. Don't get any of that herbal thing before either. Is this from a distillery in Kentucky?
No.
Okay, great. That narrows it down actually quite a bit.
And now on to the open round.
All right. So my last question here is: this a distiller out of the great state of Indiana?
It is.
Okay.
Is it a Kentucky distiller?
No.
All right. That narrowed it down for me then, I think.
Yeah, quite good. I would, if I had to guess, I'd say it's probably somewhere in like the 105 to 110 proof range. Although I'm getting a little hug here, not too bad though. So I'd stand by that for sure. I definitely still get that big like honey graham cracker thing, which I like. Not super viscous, kind of oaky, but not a ton. So it's probably somewhat young. I wouldn't think it's a finished product at all. Is this from a fairly new distillery?
Give me your definition of fairly new.
I
include.
Okay, within like the last decade. Is this from a distillery in the last decade?
Are you asking about age statement or distillery age?
The distillery age, not the age statement.
The distillery is older than 10 years
Okay.
old. So no, it's not less than 10 years old, trust me.
Okay, cool.
All right, gentlemen, you guys all did phenomenal with that. So let's spend a couple minutes chatting about what you experienced, what you tasted, what you guys liked, what you didn't like. And then I'll jump in here in a minute and ask you for your bottle guesses.
Word. All right.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, do you want to start? You want me to start, James? Anybody care?
You know, I'll just say it's been a while since I've had bourbon. You know, this time of year we've talked about before. I hit the beer, the vodka, just all kinds of different spirits. And so, you know, for me, I got the burn, and I couldn't tell if that's just because I haven't had bourbon in weeks or if this is higher alcohol. So I feel like, you know, I got a little more of that Kentucky hug. I think it is a little bit of a higher proof.
What was your proof guess?
I'm terrible at this. I'm guessing 106. If I had to be very specific, but
Yeah,
definitely kind of in that range.
You two were like similar to that. I guess it was like my question was I wasn't getting a burn at all. So
Okay.
I asked if this is the proof of below 100, and I got a resounding no. So clearly off. But
Yeah.
again, I mean, I didn't get much warmth or anything like that. I also didn't get much on the nose when I got as far as like an alcohol burn or anything like that. So,
Okay.
But James had a very similar thought to you, Ryan.
Yeah, I was
That's
at 105 to
interesting.
110 proof.
Okay.
But let's go over the questions we asked and then the answers.
Yeah.
That'll probably help us narrow down. Hopefully, we asked different questions.
Yeah.
My first question was, is it a rye because of the nose? I had like a big herbal thing I had going on, which is weird because as soon as I tasted it, I was like, that was a stupid question. Because it's not a rye. So obviously, it's not a rye. But what else did you guys ask?
My first question was the proof question. Is it below 100 proof?
Right. And the answer was no.
And the answer was no. So that was just on the nose, on the smell.
Right.
What was your first question,
And-
Ryan?
I can't even remember my first question, so I'm absolutely zero help here in this as we're trying to deduce. But I do remember specifically the question that I felt like.
My
kinda got
God,
more
man,
like
you
that.
haven't had bourbon in 3 weeks. You got to be sharp now. You should be ready.
What it is my mind is dulled. But I did ask, is this a distiller in Louisville? I was trying to get very specific, and the answer there was no. So my follow-up to that was, is this a distiller out of Indiana? Which the answer was yes.
Yes.
So
okay,
that kind of
awesome.
gets me.
I was going there too because
Yeah.
I was like, is this a distillery in Kentucky? On my last question, and he goes no, and I was like, all right.
That was my last question.
That's
Also,
really
is it a
funny.
Kentucky distiller?
That's
Yep.
really funny. I actually have a pretty good idea what I think this is, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Taste wise, did you guys get anything notable on the taste?
See, I'm terrible with this, so I always get the caramel, and I felt
Yeah,
like
I mean
got-
I think there's nothing
That's
wrong with that. I think that's a
kind
pretty
of
forward
standard, right?
flavor.
That's the standard thing I get. But
Yeah.
on the nose, I get like I call it floral, and I don't mean like a bouquet of flowers. Like it's an earthy. I don't know. It's something there with that. But I do get a sweetness, both on the nose and on the palate. It's really good.
It's great. I like it a lot. I got a on the nose. I got a big herbal thing. I think that's probably what you're
Herbal.
getting.
That's
yes,
the
something
word.
similar.
Yes.
Yeah. For me, it came across like black tea. I got like a slight mint thing on the back, but then it went away quickly. But I got honey, graham cracker that kind of fall through in the nose, and it is sweet for sure in the palate for me. But I do enjoy that quite a bit. Overall, I do really enjoy this.
All right, so you gentlemen ready to hazard a guess, or would you guys like that one? Would you like me to take pity on all of you and have one more question? You have to decide as a group what the question is, though.
The problem is that my knowledge of bourbon falls off sharply after you go outside the borders of Kentucky.
Sure.
So
we didn't get an age statement from any of us, right?
I did not ask age at all.
I did not. I should have.
That could probably.
I would like that. I'd like an age question.
Agreed.
Our question is this product? Sorry, our question is this product between 5 and 7 years old?
This product is not age stated.
Oh,
it's a
Fucking
blend. God dang. All right. Well, that answers that. There's probably not a single barrel either then. Oh man, so it opens up so many doors.
I'm at a damn loss.
Oh man.
All right, so let's ask the question everyone wants to know, gentlemen. What's in your glass?
MGP is in Indiana, aren't they?
Correct. Yeah. So
They
this
are.
is MGP, but it could be anything.
Right, I mean, you're right. They do a ton of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
But
So-
there's a bunch of stuff that's in Kentucky that also uses MGP.
Right,
juice, so it's
exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
Does that qualify? Technically, no. Yeah. Oh man, I don't know. This is really rough. To me, it could be a Starlight because that's like the biggest one on Indiana.
I mean, that could be there's something I've never had. I've never had a Starlight. So
that's where my mind went.
Perfect.
James was
It's
Starlight.
It's Starlight. I
Yeah?
don't think it's a Starlight. Yeah.
So let's go one at a time.
But I don't know.
We'll start with Ryan because you're the furthest away.
Yeah, so I definitely I've kind of honed in on Starlight, and as I kind of sat and tasted this, I don't think it's any kind of an expression that's been put into a cask or any type of special barrel finish.
that was one of my questions. Is it cask finished?
Oh, and there was a no.
It was a no.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
I don't think it was just by the flavor.
Yeah, so for me, I think what was in my glass was Starlight, just straight bourbon whiskey.
All right, let's go with Greg.
I think I've weaved my way through the fact that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about over here. So my biggest guess that I got that I think is an MGP product. That's not really a stretch. I've not had Starlight, so I can't speak to that. So I'm at a loss beyond MGP.
All right, James.
I'm gonna agree with Ryan. I think this is a Starlight, and it's not cask finished. So there's only so many things they do that are not cask finished because everything they do basically
That
seems to
is
go into
true.
a different barrel. So I'm gonna agree. It's just non-age dated, straight up bourbon whiskey from Starlight.
Okay, here's how this is going to work. So I have the bottle over here behind me, Ryan, but I'm just literally going to hand the bottle to James and let him read it.
Here we go.
So
Let's get it.
we ready?
Drum roll, please.
Literal drum roll.
So this is in fact a store pick, and it is from the Eskimo Bros. So 112.4. Okay, so
God damn,
I was
just
close.
a little bit
off.
off. A little bit
4
off.
years, so we were technically a
We're
little,
bit off
over,
there too.
right? But yeah, straight up Starlight bourbon whiskey.
And two of you said caramel, big caramel, which definitely. I mean, there's no question.
I got big caramel.
I mean, it's literally supposed to be. It's got Scotch pudding on it, so.
Those are Werther's originals.
So,
Well, those are
butterscotch
phenomenal.
caramel, right? Because I mean, did focus. That did focus. Kind of. Good enough. So now that you know what the bottle is.
But now I've had Starlight now.
Now that you know what the bottle is,
Yes.
and you've had Starlight now, Greg.
Yes, I have.
Now that you know what the bottle is, what would you have done differently? Because there was one question you asked me, James, that I felt bad answering the way I did because you asked me if the distillery was more than 10 years or less than 10 years old.
Yeah, and so they're not though, right?
They have not been distilling 10 years, but they've been NDP for more than 10 years.
I mean, that probably would have given it away, especially because you were like, it's not in Kentucky, but we got there. But yeah, I really enjoyed the pour overall for sure.
I like how you threw "we got there" because you and Ryan got there. I was just over here. I really liked this bourbon. I really liked it.
It's really, really good.
So yeah, the guys were pretty much all over it with the Starlight. And Greg kind of wanted a little bit over to MGP because that's going to happen when you have Indiana, right? I mean, you hear Indiana, your first thought is MGP in most cases. I still think it was pretty amazing that they were able to deduce all that. Now, the questions admittedly helped. Still pretty good of them to pick up Starlight. That's a pretty amazing pick for them. They all got there. It's just they want to make sure they hedged themselves. So that was cool. I'm pretty excited about how this turned out. Again, please like the video if you did. Leave a comment down below and tell us what you enjoyed. If you did enjoy anything, tell us what you didn't enjoy as well. We can take it. We like the feedback. So until next time, what's in your glass?